Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reckless Distraction. It's Maya, and we gotta talk. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the Malik Yoba situation. Even though it's getting media attention, I feel like it needs a lot more. For those of you who don't know, actor Malik Yoba recently came out on social media and admitted to being attracted to trans women. This was a complete shock to me, but it may not have been much of a secret for other people. I don't know. Now, this is where it backfires. After coming out, a trans woman named Mariah Lopez Ebony put him on blast and made claims that he slept with and exploited her and other underage women in the trans community back in the day. If those claims turn out to be true, then that shit is just not okay. I have a lot to say about what I think about all this, so stay tuned if you're interested. So, a young man named Maurice committed suicide. He was a black man who was being cyberbullied. There's a viral video of him being laughed at for admitting he was attracted to trans women and he was in a relationship with a trans woman. Very sad story and very, very unfortunate. So Malik Yoba wrote a post basically showing support to Maurice. And along with that, in the same post, he admitted to being attracted to trans women. I'm not going to read his entire Twitter post because it's just too much to read, but you guys are free to. I'm just going to highlight where he states, "I love all women and count myself among those that find themselves attracted to trans women. And I too have felt the self-imposed shame that comes with that truth. But it's time to speak up." So this post got a lot of attention and Malik ended up getting a lot of positive feedback and support until later on that day, a woman named Mariah Lopez, who is a trans woman and a trans activist, put him on blast. In her Facebook post, she stated, "His admission to being sexually attracted to trans women is bound to open up Pandora's box for him, not because the women are trans, but because many of the trans women he engaged in sexual exploration and exploitation with on 14th Street, Times Square, and elsewhere were minors, including myself." All right, so you guys heard that. See, this is why I don't like to read people's paragraphs because my tongue gets all twisted up and I don't know how to read it right. So you guys can pause it if you want to read the full thing for yourself. She then went on to do a couple lives to discuss her experience with dealing with him and how he used to drive around the areas where she and others used to work, constantly scouting for trans teens. I'm going to play a couple clips from her lives, so check it out.
If he has adult feelings for trans women, that's his business. But what he did to carry them out when society made it so he couldn't find none except little trans prostitutes that were teens, we got to separate those things. Whether or not he is an adult now who decides that this is what he wants to do, but he was an adult then. And he had an obligation. What you mean, Tony? Fuck you too much. My sister Grace. At the end of the day, I look like a teen. These other teens look like teens. You can't tell me he did not know we were teenagers. Bitch, I barely look my age now. What you think I looked when I was 13, 14 years old? You think I look like I was 21? 18, 19. Bitch, they still ID me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Mariah Lopez. I'm known for not lying, you idiot. So if there are a lot of, I'm known for a lot of things. Lying is not one of them. So you can get a lot of people that might have made this type of post and you can be like, "Oh, she's lying." Bitch, I'll tell you what the nigga was wearing. I'll tell you what his junk looked like. I'll tell you what we did to each other. We're not gonna shame victims of child sex abuse. We're not gonna. It sounded like someone trying to take defense for themselves, knowing that the dirt was gonna come out against them. I know I messed with him. And y'all, first of all, I'm gonna spill more tea in this video that I didn't put in this post. I seen him in Brooklyn on Myrtle like a month and a half ago. Ask him. Oh shit. Ask him. So I hear he's trying to get on Pose. I don't really care about none of that. He happens to be making the statements he's making at a time when New York has brand new child sex abuse laws. Oops. He talking about he loves trans. Where were you loving me when I was needing you to pay for my transition? Why did I have to sue the city? Malik, you had the money, Mr. Yoba. Why did I have to sue for everybody else to get their surgery? Shit. Truth be told, you could have sold the Malik Yoba could have saved the city a whole lot of motherfucking heartache if he wanted to give me more than the $80 he was willing to pay me that first night. He could have saved me a lot of money. Saved the city a lot of money if he would have just said, hey, where's that? But I told you in my post, he didn't like him Spanish. Everybody has their preference. He liked slim African-American girls. He'll take you if you look mixed. And he'll take you if you look clean. He's very picky. He drove a black... I'm going to say his car, but everybody's going to say, you could have known his car. He drove a black Excursion. Oh. Didn't think I remembered? I was 13. My brain was like a sponge. One more thing I need to stress to you is, at this time in New York history, you couldn't go online and or on an app. There weren't cell phones. You had to physically go look for a prostitute. And we had a lot of celebrity clients. He's not the only one. So if y'all wondering, like, why now? Why did I? Because he decided to say something. But he's not the only celebrity. Physically in the West Village, you had Hot 97, you had the Tunnel, Shadow. So there were a lot of celebrity hotspots.
Now, after this, Malik Yoba did an interview with The Morning Culture on V103, and here was his response to those claims.
We're talking to Malik Yoba about his truth, his side, his authentic side of the story, what he's involved with in regards to the trans community, and a march coming up September 27th and 28th in Washington, D.C., the Transgendered March on Washington. You mentioned in that last block that you said someone was creating a rumor or allegation about you. Was posted on Facebook that basically said you paid for transgendered prostitution. And not only that, but while this individual was a teenager at 13 and 16.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You know, even though, here's the thing, the game, right? So, talking to my PR folks, and they said, don't use the word unfortunate, because it sounds like you're defending. But I have love for that person. I don't know that person, but I have love for that person, because here's an anecdote. As an actor, I don't do roles where I harm women or children as a rule, because the real work of an actor is to be, right? So you have to find a dark place to hurt people, right? And so I don't do that, because that's not an emotional place, a psychic place, an energetic place that I want to play from. And so I choose not to play those types of roles on purpose. And that anecdote for me just sort of hopefully can shine a little light on, like, my level of humanity, even through my work as an artist. And so, and even to be able to say I have love for this person, because, you know, hey, that's a bold move to put a lie like that out there. To say, and that's serious, to say that me, who has a lifetime of service to humanity, is engaged in that kind of illicit behavior. You don't have black men in the world talking like this. Who? Where? Me. And so I said it is time for me to stand in a different space. The president says you don't matter. Why is that okay? That is not okay. Because transgender people, in my experiences, and both trans men and trans women, have a very special perspective that the world could benefit from. And times we're dealing with transgender people who don't even know it. I cannot tell you how many split up into my DMs are from around the world. Around the world. People who have dated trans people, been disowned by their families. People who have been killed. That's what this is about. So, December 27th, I'm actually doing the workshop with Carmen Carrera called Love and Trauma, the Trans Experience. And the 28th, I'll be running my mouth from a podium, standing with my folks, and I'm going to continue to do the work that I've been doing my entire life.
Also, when asked to clarify his sexuality, this was his response.
What will you say to folks who would now question your identity or even label you as just being gay?
I don't live for other people's label. People say what they want all day long. Short answer is I'm not gay. I'm not attracted to men. That's first and foremost. And for the record, trans women do not date gay men 99% of the time.
People can say whatever they like, and you're also learning what it means to be trans attracted. What will you say to folks who would now question your identity or even label you as just being gay?
I don't live for other people's label. People say what they want all day long. Short answer is I'm not gay. I'm not attracted to men. That's first and foremost. And for the record, trans women do not date gay men 99% of the time. I say I'm heterosexual. I love women. And I love women.
Okay, so you guys seen and heard basically everything. So here is what I think about this whole thing, just this whole entire situation. Do I believe these alleged allegations towards Malik Yoba? Personally, I do. I don't want them to be true. Whether or not I think it was right or wrong to expose him at this time in particular, for one, Miss Mariah Ebony didn't waste any time. She wrote that post as soon as she heard about Malik coming out. But my only question for her is, okay, what next? Do you plan on pressing charges? Or do you just want to see his name tarnished? This is sexual abuse you're accusing him of, you know? You can't just put him only on blast because you're going to be doing a disservice to yourself and any other victims. She states in her live that she has receipts to show she slept with another rapper, and also at that age she was sleeping with many other men that were older than her. So if you put him out, you got to put everybody else out. You can't just choose one because you want to be petty. If you're so-called fighting for trans rights, then fight for the ones who are currently in the same predicament that you were once in. Because if I'm going to come out and say that this and that happened to me, I'm going to have to throw everybody under the bus. As for Malik Yoba, you guys heard that response he had when the allegations were brought up in the interview. Yes, he denied the allegations, but it wasn't the fact that he denied the allegations. It was the fact that he danced around the question. He started bringing up what he's doing for his community, what's going on in South Africa. Like, answer the question at hand. Even if that was something he did, I wouldn't expect him to tell the truth about it because, of course, the police are going to be knocking on his door. But why dance around the question? You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of weird to me. I hate long responses to short, simple questions. Like, it's yes or no. Malik also posted a freestyle rap in regards to the allegations. And guys, this was just so awkward and odd and really hard to watch. I don't know what to make of this. Like, just watch it.
How quickly people love to spread news with no proof for child abuse. You confuse, I see you. You choose to try to make me lose, but I can't. If you try to stand in my shoes, you would lose. You can't win when you live in sin. When you got to begin where it begins again. In the beginning, I told you there was the word, and the word said we will love, and we will love each other. No matter what, you my sister, my brother, whether you be a trans man or a trans woman, I do not know. If you do not understand, yes, this is a freestyle. I'm feeling kind of wild off the top of my dome in somebody else's home. Leave me alone with your words and your comments and the shit you don't throw upon the dome as I think about it daily. Made me move deeper and deeper into my warrior spirit. Here I come. You're going to see it and you're going to hear it. You're going to fear it if you don't understand it. Lean into it so you understand it. See, because all of this is just the way God planned it. You the one that's confused. You the one that's going to lose. How you like that? Those little freestyle. You know, a lot of nonsense is floating around town the last few days. I'm like, what am I going to say about all this? I'm not going to defend myself. I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to lean into my creativity. I'm going to lean into the purpose. And the purpose is the service. That's all it's about. September 27th, Love and Trauma Workshop hosted by yours truly and Miss Carmen Carrera. And on the 28th of September, the Trans March on DC. That's the only reason I posted the video in the first place, was to draw attention to an important subject, that visibility of all people is important.
I literally have no comment. Malik's baby mother also took to Instagram to discuss her feelings on the situation. She stated, "I expressed that 2 months ago to you when I became aware of your current trans relationship," she continued in her comment. "Why did you not have a conversation with our children and wait till last night to text our firstborn with this info? Yet you were preparing your public months ago on Instagram. Our children support you and keep so much a secret of what really goes down with our family dynamic. I asked to meet you over a month ago and you have yet to make time, so here I am. If you know better, then do better. Family is first overall." I see what she's saying here. I definitely believe that this post shouldn't have been a surprise for them. This man has kids. He should have definitely taken into account how this would affect his children. However, this photo I put up here, his kids are much older now. His oldest is 21, I believe. I get the feeling that he was more concerned about how this would affect his career. I mean, no offense when I say this, but in Hollywood, supporting the LGBTQ is what's in right now. And it's the perfect way to be considered a progressive. And it would have been a perfect move for him career-wise. So it just seems like he was putting his career in front of his family. I think Malik is actually a very talented actor because I find myself loving him and hating him based on the type of characters he plays. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being in the closet or not wanting to disclose your sexual orientation. That's not the issue for me because honestly, that's really honestly and truly nobody's business. However, what is an issue is when you try to put up another facade for the world. For example, being in a heterosexual relationship and then having your homosexual relationships on the side. Or in this case, he's being put on blast because instead of, carrying out his sexual urges and his attractions for trans women the legal way, he was doing it illegally and dealing with underage transgender teens who were basically involved in sex trafficking and prostitution. And he was exploiting them. He was using them for sex. Allegedly. Because honestly, if this wasn't involving the LGBTQ community and the tables were turned and there was a 13 or 14-year-old girl coming to service with these claims, and by girl, I mean like born female girl, this would be a completely different story. And he'd be under investigation at this very moment or in police custody at this very moment. Teens back then coming out as transgender to their family members were more likely to be kicked out of the house and left to fend for yourself and having to resort to prostitution or being swept into sex trafficking and exploitation. So if these allegations were to turn out to be true, I hope he definitely faces some form of consequences because I'm more annoyed at the fact that he would be pretending to be for the community and ready to give his support when back then he could have been the one potentially contributing to the exploitation and the dangers that arise for that community. Okay, so that's all I have to say. I would love it if you guys comment below and tell me what you think about the situation. Do you believe these allegations are true? And how do you feel about heterosexual men who claim to be heterosexual after admitting to be romantically and sexually involved with someone who is transgender? Because Malik Yoba still considers himself a straight man, which I no longer believe him to be. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!